He'd never meant to actually say it out loud, not to her anyway. He blamed the alcohol. He never should have agreed to another round of shots. She could drink him under the table and wouldn't suffer so much as a minor hangover in the morning. They both knew that. But there was just something about her that always made him want to push his limits. Sometimes that was a good thing. Other times, not so much. This time, for example, he had no doubt that he'd have a wicked hangover tomorrow, likely the kind that even a handful of ibuprofen couldn't chase away. But there were other times when she made him push his limits in other ways, like when she dragged him out dancing. Earlier tonight, for instance, before the drinking, for the most part anyway, he needed one drink before she could convince him to get up on the dance floor with her. But she'd won that battle. She always did. All she had to do was give him that exasperated little pout and he'd relent and let her drag him up onto the dance floor. He knew he didn't really have a chance with her. She was from a wealthy family with a great deal of political influence, and he was just an apprentice mechanic at his godfather's shop. And she was so full of fire and ferocity. She could have any guy or girl she wanted. Not that she was interested in anything like that. She was as cynical as they came in all matters of the heart, but somehow totally nonchalant about the whole thing at the same time. She'd just roll her eyes and scoff before extracting herself from the conversation as easily as talking about the weather. He'd seen her do it before, countless times, but somehow she could make just about anything fun, even fleeing potential suitors. But then he always had so much fun with her no matter where they went or what they did. And so naturally now he'd gone and ruined the whole thing. He was so stupid. He'd ruined everything. He should have just kept his mouth shut. But it was too late to take any of it back, as much as he would like to have unsaid every word. They were out there in the open now, and there was no doubt that she'd heard the whole thing. His green eyes stretched wide in panic. He clapped his hands over his mouth as his freckled face flushed bright red. Time seemed to have slowed down somehow. That was the only possible explanation for why she was still sitting across from him. He'd seen her up and leave at the first sign of romantic intent on numerous occasions. It was only a matter of time before she excused herself and vanished like a ghost. He had most definitely ruined their entire friendship.
And sorry,
He started, but he stopped suddenly when the party lights caught her and momentarily danced across her freckled skin. Before he could begin his frantic attempts to backpedal once more, she did the very last thing he expected. She reached across the table and took his hand.
I love you too, you numpty.